So let's go, Falcons. We're kicking off the week with some big news, and things are getting pretty wild in Atlanta. There's a lot of talk going around, and I'm here to break it all down for you. So, if you want to stay updated on everything happening, don't forget to hit that like button. Now let's dive in, because the future of Kirk Cousins and the Falcons is the hottest topic right now. The biggest question of the offseason? What happens with Kirk Cousins? Will he stay? Will he be traded? Can Atlanta find a way to move on from his contract? And now, a new team has entered the conversation, a team that actually makes a lot of sense. The Cleveland Browns. The Browns are in a tough spot. With Deshaun Watson injured and a roster full of veterans who still want to compete, they need a steady, reliable quarterback to keep their playoff hopes alive. That's where Cousins comes in. A trade to Cleveland would give them an experienced leader who can step in right away. For Atlanta, this move would clear cap space and allow them to fully commit to Michael Penix Jr. as their future starter. But there's one big catch. Kirk Cousins has a no-trade clause. He controls where he goes, meaning he has to agree to the deal. Would he really want to join a team that might be heading toward a rebuild? That's the big question. However, let's not forget, Cleveland made the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco at quarterback. If they believe Cousins can do the same, they might push hard to make this trade happen. Now, let's talk about why this move makes sense for both teams. For Atlanta, it's about the future. They need to free up salary cap space and fully commit to their young quarterback. Keeping Cousins as a highly paid backup isn't ideal, especially when the team needs to improve their defense. For Cleveland, it's all about stability. The Browns need a dependable quarterback who can keep them competitive while Watson recovers. Cousins may not be the flashiest player, but he's a proven leader who can step in and get the job done. And that's why this trade could be a win-win for both sides. But will it actually happen? That's what we'll have to wait and see.
Kirk Cousins may not be the flashiest quarterback, but he's experienced, dependable, and has solid numbers throughout his career. With a strong offensive line and a good running game, he could be exactly what Cleveland needs to stay in the playoff race. But wait, there's another twist. Reports say that the New York Jets are also interested in Cousins. With Aaron Rodgers officially out, the Jets need a quarterback who can step in and lead the team. Even though Cousins had a tough year in Atlanta, he's still a four-time Pro Bowler and could be the veteran presence New York needs. Now, here's the catch. If Cleveland makes a strong offer first, the Jets might not even get a chance to negotiate. According to Bleacher Report, a potential trade proposal could send Cousins to the Browns in exchange for a 2025 fourth-round pick. Some fans might think that's too low for a veteran quarterback, but here's the reality. Atlanta needs to move his contract. If they can get a mid-round pick and some salary relief, they might just take the deal. And don't forget, Cousins has a history with Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. Back in 2019, Stefanski was calling plays for the Minnesota Vikings when Cousins had a Pro Bowl season. If the Browns believe they can recreate that success, this trade makes even more sense. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should Atlanta pull the trigger and send Cousins to Cleveland, or should they wait for a better offer from a team like the Jets? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The Falcons are heading into a massive offseason. We know they have major holes to fill, and with limited resources, they'll need to get creative. But here's some good news. The NFL just announced a major salary cap increase for next season. This gives Atlanta more flexibility than expected. Of course, big decisions still need to be made about Kirk Cousins, Justin Simmons, Mike Hughes, and Matthew Judon. The moves they make with these key players will determine just how much flexibility they truly have. Now, this is where things get interesting. The Falcons might not be big spenders in free agency, but with more cap space, they have another option: the trade market. And one name Atlanta should definitely have on their radar is Cleveland Browns cornerback Greg Newsome II. Newsome is entering his fifth year, but he hasn't been happy in Cleveland. His role has shrunk, and now the Browns have a tough decision: extend him long-term or trade him to save money. For Atlanta, this could be the perfect opportunity. With D. Alford likely leaving, the Falcons need help in the secondary, and Newsome could be the ideal replacement. Let's not forget, this guy was a first-round pick and early in his career showed elite potential as one of the best nickel corners in the league. Sure, his 2024 season wasn't his best, but if the Falcons believe he can bounce back with a fresh start, this move makes a lot of sense. Yes, his $13.3 million salary for 2025 isn't cheap, and he'll need a new contract soon. But when you look at his talent, it's a risk worth taking. Now, that's just one piece of the puzzle. Atlanta's defense needs a major upgrade, especially when it comes to getting after the quarterback. Let's be real. The Falcons have struggled with pass rushing for years. They have the fewest sacks in the last 20 years and finished dead last or second to last in sacks in 3 of the last 4 seasons. That's just not good enough. So, what's the solution? A veteran edge rusher. 2 names being talked about are Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa from the Chargers. Let's start with Mack. This guy is a legend, one of the best pass rushers of his generation. He'll be a free agent in March, and while he's not in his prime anymore, he's still a problem for offensive lines. What makes him valuable? Versatility. He can line up in different spots, rush the passer, and he's still a strong run defender. That's a huge bonus. Atlanta had success bringing in veterans like Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell on 1-year deals in 2023. Mack could be a similar signing. Come in, mentor a young draft pick, and still produce at a high level. Now, what about Joey Bosa? There's speculation that the Chargers might move on from him to clear cap space. Cutting him would save them $25 million. But here's the issue: injuries. Bosa has struggled to stay healthy, playing in just 28 games over the last 3 seasons. That's a big red flag. When he's on the field, he's still an effective pass rusher, but he doesn't do much against the run and lacks the raw power of someone like Mack. So, what should Atlanta do? Go for the proven veteran in Mack or take a chance on Bosa's upside? If Atlanta wants a veteran pass rusher to pair with a young draft pick, Khalil Mack makes more sense than Joey Bosa. So, what's the best-case scenario for the Falcons? In a perfect world, they draft a future star pass rusher in the first round, sign Mack on a short-term deal, and focus on developing their young talent. But if that plan doesn't work, then maybe they get more aggressive and go after someone like Josh Sweat. One thing is crystal clear: the Falcons cannot afford to go into 2025 with the same pass rush issues they've had for years. Now, I want to hear from you, Falcons fans. Should Atlanta trade for Greg Newsome? Would Khalil Mack be a good fit? Or should they go all in on the draft to fix their defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss. And don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss the latest Falcons updates. Go Falcons!